everyone. Chris Bowden with you. Lowe's Cubs postgame live is in the On Deck Circle, and Sports Night coming up at 12 midnight. We'll have clubhouse reaction from the Cubs, plus highlights from the Sox in Minnesota, where tempers flared in the Sox dugout. Ozzie gets angry, and two players had to be separated. And bad news for the Bears. One of their defensive starters has surgery. Will he be ready for the season opener? Those stories, plus the NFL says Michael Vick can come back. We'll have the conditions on Sports Night at midnight. But Gail Fisher and Todd Hollandsworth, they're still up and ready with Lowe's Cubs postgame live coming up next.
In uncertain times, we could all use a little certainty, especially at the pump. So now Hyundai Assurance helps with something else. Gas. A whole year's worth for just $1.49. Buy select new sedans and you'll pay just $1.49 a gallon at 9 out of 10 gas stations nationwide. Plus, in a new Sonata, you'll get up to 32 miles per gallon for even greater gas savings.
Lock in $1.49 a gallon today. Brought to you by your Chicago and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers.
These two here, guys. It's all good, man. Don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. You know what? Follow me.
There you go, guys. Enjoy the game.
Heineken Light, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Hey, guys, can you pass me one? Please?
Heineken Light. Give yourself a good name.
Take your time to find the right time with Cialis for daily use. A clinically proven low-dose tablet for erectile dysfunction you take every day. So you can be ready anytime the moment is right.
Tell your doctor about your medical condition and all medications, and ask if you're healthy enough for sexual activity. Don't take Cialis if you take nitrates for chest pain, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Don't drink alcohol in excess with Cialis. Side effects may include headache, upset stomach, delayed backache, or muscle ache. To avoid long-term injury, seek immediate medical help for an erection lasting more than 4 hours. If you have any sudden decrease or loss in hearing or vision, stop taking Cialis and call your doctor right away.
36-hour Cialis or Cialis for daily use. Ask your doctor about Cialis today, so when the moment is right, you can be ready.
Cubs baseball on Comcast Sportsnet is brought to you in part by Southwest Airlines. Southwest Airlines is ready when you are. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Menards. At Menards, you'll find big lumber yards, big selection, and big savings. BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Midas, we're on this road together. Go to MidasChicago.com for valuable savings. Aflac, we've got you under our wing. And by Toyota. See your Toyota dealer now to start saving now. This is Lowe's Cubs postgame live.
Fly ball with any depth to it wins it. Up in the air, and that will do it. Deep to center for Soriano. Got a grand slam. They only needed one. They got four.
Hello and welcome to Lowe's Cubs postgame live. Gail Fisher and Todd Hollandsworth here with you. A bizarre game, to say the least, but an outstanding result as the Cubs get the victory 5-1 in 13 innings, thanks to that Alfonso Soriano grand slam in that extra inning affair. So we had a lot of interesting things. We had Carlos Zambrano, hitting as a hitter, not because he had to. We had a suicide squeeze gone wrong. We had Alfonso Soriano, not running out of play on a ball that was hit to third, and then he comes up and he's the hero.
Well, he redeemed himself. 3 strikeouts in the game, 0 for 5 coming into the game. What I like so much about it is that you hear Len, we just need a fly ball with some depth on it, and he hit it about 430 feet to center field for a grand slam. Ended it in grand fashion. It was a fun game. It was a little long. There were some missed opportunities. Some things definitely did not go right for the Cubs. The missed squeeze with the bases loaded, not running out of ball. But you know what? They got the win tonight, and I think that's what's most important.
Yes, if you like exciting baseball with a lot of things going on, this was your night. The Cubs getting the victory, and Alfonso Soriano is our Felt Go star of the game. These are the guys, Todd, you think should win it for you. Any one of these guys, a Derrek Lee and a Ramos Ramirez and an Alfonso Soriano, missed opportunities before, but coming through in the end.
Well, so much of it, again, Alfonso Soriano is going to be in these positions where guys are getting on base. Derrek Lee, Lee and Ramirez, 5 for 9. Derrek had 3 walks. I mean, the 8 base runners on in front of Alfonso all night long. I mean, the opportunities were there for him. Finally, I mean, he was getting drug out in an awful long time, but he finally got it done and again at the end of the ball game. But I mean, those opportunities are going to continue to be there for him in the 6th hole. He's going to have to start capitalizing on them and making the most of those opportunities. Again, that opportunity continued to present itself late in the ball game, but you know, he did definitely miss out on some of them earlier in the ball game.
And he got the shaving cream pie in the face, as we saw with his interview with Luke Stuckmeyer. All right, an excellent pitching duel for the starters of this game between Wandy Rodriguez and Carlos Zambrano. Let's take a look back at the pitching recap. Another hard luck game for Zambrano, who pitched 7 innings. And he only gave up that 1 run, of course, on 3 hits. So this was a real pitcher's duel. And unfortunately, he can't get credit for it with the W.
Once again, and you hear Carlos talk about this all the time. I mean, you know, you go out there and you do your job and you take it and you run with it. You go out there, you jump on the mound, you do everything you can to get a win. But again, he can only be so responsible for the offensive side of the game. He had a great sinker tonight. I counted 9 ground ball outs in the 7th inning. In the 7 innings he pitched, he had the 3 walks. He had double plays that followed him. He did a great job keeping the ball down tonight, in which the wind was blowing out.
All right, well, he is addressing the media at Wrigley Field. Let's take a listen.
Oh, what I have?
You're on the bench by the time it happened, but you guys moved into first place yesterday and today. You get a finish like this one. What's that do for you guys going forward?
Well, we basically don't think about, you know, we're in the first place. Or, you know, everybody knows that we're in first place, but we still have to do our job and, you know, to keep our team in the first place, you know. Just keep playing the way we're playing during this second half, and you know, every game by game, and that's it.
Seems like you're using more and more pitches tonight. Used some change-ups that really got you out of some jams. You just get better as a pitcher as time goes on.
Yeah. Today was you know, everything was working. Except for the pitch to Carlos Lee, you know. I think he got my number. I just think, you know. But he's a good hitter. Next time I should walk him, you know. But I just trying to make a pitch outside, and the pitch say it was outside, but stay up, and he's a, you know, good fastball hitter. There's nothing I can do about it. Just keep the game after that and control. And that was what I did today.
There's just some hitters like that. This guy kills the Cubs in general, but there's some guys that just, like you said, have your number, right?
Well, it doesn't matter when somebody killed the Cubs, but we're still winning. So that's the most important thing.
Okay. Thanks, Carlos. Thanks.
Sure.
All right, that was Carlos Marmol addressing the media live at Wrigley Field. Again, he pitched well, but gets a no decision in this one. And Todd, we've talked about some of those missed opportunities, and we do have to go back. I know they got the win, but we do have to go back and take a look, because it just was bizarre the way a couple of things worked out. They had a golden opportunity to win it in the bottom of the 9th with the suicide squeeze. And Mike Fontenot, as you're going to see, is going to miss the bunt entirely. And we're going through the sequence here as to how these guys got on base.
Well, I mean, they were putting together good at-bats late in the ball game. Milton Bradley with the leadoff walk there, and again, obviously the intentional walk here. But this is trying to get creative. I mean, the sense that I got, what was going on, and sure, I'd love to have some opportunity someday to sit down with Lou and say what was going on here. But you could absolutely sense that they were going for it right here. They were emptying out the bench, getting everybody up there, and you know, you've got the failed suicide squeeze with the bases loaded and 1 out. And I think all of us have a little bit of question. Not too many people want to talk about it right now, but the attempt itself was not a very good one. And the reason I say that is, as a player, you understand when you're supposed to lay down a suicide squeeze, as soon as that pitcher starts to come to the plate, you can give yourself away. It is not about how good the bunt looks, where the bunt goes, how hard the bunt is put into play. You either have to foul that ball off or get that ball down. The runner's crashing from third, so you don't have to worry about bunting it back to the mound. So what Mike Fontenot probably should have done there in that situation was put himself into the bunting situation, squaring around, getting himself there as soon as the pitcher made his first attempt to pitch the ball to the plate. What you saw was him kind of square around a little bit late, and then he kind of jabbed at it, and he really didn't give himself a chance to even foul that ball off.
Yeah, I'm not making excuses because it's one of those fundamental things, but tough situation. There was some uncertainty as to who was coming into that ball game to pinch hit. So Fontenot coming in at the last minute and then having to do one of the tricky plays of the game.
Well, it sneaks up on you at times, and it's definitely not always the most comfortable, but as a bench player and as a role player, and Mike did this last year, so he understands what's going on. Those things can be expected of you, so you have to really be ready for anything when you get into that box. And this is the kind of game that, this is the way it was going. You know, the two pitchers out there dueling. This game had all the makings with the quality of starting pitching that was out there. Runs were at a premium, and Lou rolled the dice with the squeeze that the bases loaded.
Bottom line is the Cubs got the victory in this one. 5-1 is your final from Wrigley in 13 innings. As we head to our first break, let's check out our Cubs opinion poll question. Now with the Astros doing what they usually do, starting to play well towards the end of the season, who poses the biggest threat to the Cubs in the NL Central? Because the Cardinals are slipping. We are the first place Cubbies. Is it the Astros, the Brewers, or the Redbirds? Log on to CSNChicago.com, then visit the Cubs team page to cast your vote, and we'll have the results later on Lowe's Cubs Postgame Live.
CSNChicago.com is giving you exclusive access to your favorite Chicago sports team with blogs, expert analysis, special behind-the-scenes videos, and more. All from your favorite Comcast Sportsnet personalities. Only on CSNChicago.com. Brought to you by Toshiba.
The weekend can start on Tuesday.
Wednesday. The weekend starts now. New Kentucky barbecue grilled chicken, brushed with sweet and smoky glaze and slow grill to seal in the flavor. Try 2 pieces with side biscuit and a drink for just $5. Unthink and taste the unfried barbecue side of KFC.
This quote of the week is brought to you by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich, in business for over 30 years. For an insurance quote for auto, home, life, or business, please call Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich at 847-825-4783.
Car and Driver says Nissan Altima delivers a level of fun that's missing from most other midsize sedans. Yes, you can get excitement and quality. The 2009 Nissan Altima ranked highest among midsize cars in the initial quality study by J.D. Power & Associates, with more horsepower than Toyota Camry and no sacrifice in fuel efficiency. Some also say Altima's breaking the mold. Get one as low as $13,900 with government voucher. Look closer. Nissan delivers.
All training camp long, don't miss anything happening in Bourbonnais. Every night, Kip Lewis has the latest news and interviews in Chicago Tribune Live and Sports Night. Position battles, injuries, and behind-the-scenes access. Bears training camp reports beginning Friday on Chicago Tribune Live and Sports Night, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
I personally chose the Excel program because I found the curriculum very challenging.
The instructors really want to see you succeed.
And we really try hard to develop a number of different kind of activities that cause the students to engage one another.
The students in the classroom are very diverse, so the conversations that we engage in are very stimulating.
This is the kind of thing that can change your life, and if you really are willing to work at it, it can make a huge difference.
St. Ambrose University Excel program, the right choice for you, your career, and your lifestyle.
Watch more for less when you order Stars with Stars on Demand. Hundreds of choices, one low price. Order today to get multiple Stars channels along with Stars on Demand with a huge variety of Hollywood's biggest movies, as well as exclusive originals anytime you want. Free with your Stars subscription. Stars with Stars on Demand. Big hits, bigger savings.
There's a new game in town, the Quad City Stallions semi-pro football team. 11-on-11 hard-nosed football, 100 yards of action the way the game is meant to be played. The Stallions have some of the best talent in the area, players you are familiar with playing the game they love. This team is serious about the game, 4 quarters of high-energy, smash-mouth football. Don't miss a single down. Come out and see the Quad City Stallions as they face the Kansas City Diamondbacks, 6 p.m. July 25th at Erickson Field, Augustana College in Rock Island. Stallions football for the love of the game.
For the Cardinals, 0-2 with an ERA over 8. Welcome back to Lowe's Cubs Postgame Live. Gail Fisher and Todd Hollandsworth here with you on the night of a big Cubs victory as they keep the W's coming and they remain in first place in the NL Central. Derrek Lee had a lot to do with that. He's been killing the Astros all season long. He did it again tonight. It was the battle of the Lees in the beginning of this game. Carlos Lee with the home run and then D. Lee with one.
Well, so much is being made out of how Derrek has beat up Houston this year, and he definitely has. But I really just have to give credit to Derrek and his approach to the plate. He is so confident right now, and he is absolutely not missing his pitches. I mean, you look at that right there. That's an 0-2 pitch. It was a mistake. It was out over the plate, and he literally jumped all over it and hit it about 400 feet himself. But, I mean, Derrek is just in one of those zones where he is comfortable, he is confident, he is trusting his hands, he is not afraid to hit 3-1. He is also not afraid to hit 1-2. He's up there, he can take pitches. And as you kind of see with Derrek's at-bats, as the game kind of goes along, the more success you really do have at the big league level and you do it for a longer period of time, you become that target in the lineup. Guys, they start pitching around you, and so it sometimes gets a little bit easier to hit because they're not making the perfect pitch all the time. The balls are 6 and 7 inches off the plate. So in Derrek's case, he is really taking advantage of they're pitching around him, and when they do come after him, he's getting better pitches to hit. So he is definitely beaming with confidence, and he's got a hot hitter right behind him right now. Aramis Ramirez has been swinging a hotbed as well.
Well, Lou Piniella is a guy who loves to play the matchups and he loves to play the numbers. And so when you looked at this, not like you would ever, not play Derrek Lee in this situation, but when you look at his numbers, he's hitting .344 against the Astros this season and .444 against Wandy Rodriguez. All right, Lou Piniella spoke to the media a few minutes ago. Let's go back to Wrigley Field and listen in on the Cubs skipper.
But I tell you what, our guys stuck with it. And Soriano ended it in dramatic fashion. I'll tell you what, our young pitching really did a nice job today. Zambrano gave us 7 innings, but Stevens, we got Samardzija in there. He gets the win. We even got Berg warmed up, ready to come in. So, look, it was a good win for us. It really was. Well pitched on both sides.
The squeeze, was it just that pitch, or?
It was a good pitch to bunt. Look, the ball was a little bit on the outside part of the plate, but I mean, you got to at least foul the ball off. Anyway, forget the squeeze. We won the ball game, and we used a lot of pitching, but it was worth it. I'll tell you what, Stevens got a nice arm. He's worked hard on his curveball towards the end of spring training and in AAA. And yeah, we like this young man. He competes. He gets after the hitters.
Soriano must have fouled it off.
He thought he had fouled it off his foot. Yeah.
Done the replays like he might have. Did you see it?
I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell. I really couldn't tell. But that's what he said.
Well, he said so many times this season you need him to hit to win, and now you're getting it. You got to be pleased.
Yeah, and he's starting to hit the ball for some power for us again, which is really, really good. I think he's adapted really well to that 6th hole in the lineup. So, yeah. It was a long evening, but it was well worth it.
About Zambrano?
Zambrano pitched well, 7 innings. He wanted to stay out there a little longer, but the last time out in Philadelphia, he threw a lot of pitches. So we shortened him up tonight. We've been trying to do that with our pitchers as much as possible. We've lost Lilly and we've lost Dempster, and we can't afford any more of that. So we've got to be very careful with our starting pitching.
Your 2 other guys were out for tonight. You weren't going to go to them?
I wasn't going to use Guzman, no, and Greg only. I don't think we would have used Greg either. I'll be honest with you. So the next guy in would have been Berg. He was warming up.
Fox did a nice job.
I told him that. After the ball game in the dugout. What a nice job! And I tell you that ball that Samardzija threw before the double play ball. That's a real athletic play for a catcher. And yeah, I thought he did a wonderful job.
Do you think Soriano's finally out of the funk completely?
Yeah, he's been consistent. He's been consistent lately, and you know, he's been hitting the ball for some power and with men on base, which is what you want to see. So he's been streaky. There's no question. I think he admits that himself. But you know, right now he's streaking in the right direction.
If something happened to Fox, what would your next move be? Wells?
Gosh. I think our GM would fall off of the off his perch up there. I don't know what we'd do. I'll be honest with you. I Reed Johnson maybe. He's a tough kid. I don't know if he's ever caught before, but I think he'd probably tackle it. Let's not even worry about that. But really, the two catchers that we have here really are the two that you mentioned, Wells and Marmo. They caught on the same team in the minor leagues.
All right, that was Lou Piniella in a good mood after the Cubs' victory tonight. Now, he did make some interesting decisions in this game. We've talked about the suicide squeeze, and we heard what Piniella had to say about that. But in the bottom of the 7th, he had an opportunity to pinch hit for Carlos Zambrano. He knew he was going to take Big Z out of the game at that point anyway. There were 2 outs and 2 on, so it was a scoring opportunity, and he let Carlos Zambrano hit, really, you know, as a batter. How do you feel about that?
Well, Big Z can swing the bat, and honestly, I think it's as simple as that, is that, you know, Carlos had the opportunity to get himself a win, literally, with a base hit, and I really just think that Lou wanted to give him the opportunity to do that. I believe that he's got a lot of faith in him to swing the bat up there. We all know he can strike out a little bit, but he's going to go up there and attempt to put the ball in play most times, and, you know, he's going to try and give you a fairly decent bat, and he's aggressive up there, and we've seen him pinch hit earlier in the year. I mean, this is a guy that he trusts. He knows that he can swing the bat. He had a ringing double earlier in the game, and you know, he wanted to give him that opportunity. I really saw nothing wrong with it. I guess my take on the game was that there were some missed opportunities. I think back to Derrek Lee's home run when the scoring started. Aramis Ramirez followed that up with a double, so he was on second base with nobody out, and the Cubs failed to get a run in, or even move him over. I really felt that was an opportunity. You've got Wandy Rodriguez, who has been hot as a firecracker for Houston, making his pitches, and he seemed to be struggling a little bit there in the 4th, and I just saw that as a missed opportunity again in the 9th, again in the 7th. I mean, there were chances to score some runs, and they just didn't do it. So they're going to have to, you know, they're going to have to tighten that up a little bit when they start playing some of these better teams.
Well, and as it worked out, Lou Piniella needed all the pinch hitters he could get at the end of this game because it went 13 innings. Still to come on the show, we'll preview tomorrow's starters for Game 2 of this series. But first, once again, our poll question of the night: who poses the biggest threat to the Cubs in the National League Central? The Astros, Brewers, or Cardinals? Log on to CSNChicago.com and give us your vote. We'll have the results right after this.
Weeknights at 11, the Monsters take over Comcast Sportsnet's late night with a special 1-hour encore of Monsters in the Morning. Catch the very best interviews and hottest sports topics from the morning show. Monsters in the Morning Encore, weeknights at 11 on Comcast Sportsnet. Fans' best friend.
Sam Adams Boston Lager is my favorite because it has so much flavor. So I wanted to design a glass that would enhance the taste of Boston Lager.
We did a laser etch on the bottom. Releases the hop aromas. This bulb is for collecting aromas, and there's a little ridge on the inside.
And that allows you to sense the hops as it enters your mouth.
The way this hits your tongue, you really get the full flavor out of Sam Adams Lager.
Having a Boston Lager in this glass was like tasting a Boston Lager for the first time again.
This is the dedicated Feldco installation team, and right now they will install Feldco windows, siding, and doors free.
Hey, Dave, we're still getting paid for this, right?
Yeah, Jim, we talked about this.
It's Feldco's biggest sale of the year. Free professional installation on Feldco windows, siding, and doors.
Free installation ends Friday, so hurry, call now.
Call 866 for Feldco.
Yeah, you know the spot.
Right away, sir.
Welcome to Giordano's. Your table's ready.
Thank you.
How's everything?
Fantastic.
What's your secret?
It's the fresh ingredients, and it's been so for the last 30 years.
We made it good. You made it famous.
Text Jaguar to the number 24442 for an exhilarating experience.
Don't miss out on anything happening with your team. Visit CSNChicago.com for the biggest and best selection of videos, full-length press conferences, locker room reaction, and insider access you won't get anywhere else. CSNChicago.com, your hub for complete access to your favorite Chicago sports team.
Time now to the results of our Cubs opinion poll question of the night. Who poses the biggest threat to the Cubs in the NL Central? And most of you think it is, of course, the Cardinals, 88%. Even though the Cubs have surpassed them in the standings, it's only a half-a-game lead. And St. Louis, it appears, will be the team to beat. But quite honestly, I think this is going to be a race, and there's going to be a couple of teams in this all the way down to the end. Welcome back to the show. The Cubs are going in the right direction, though, right? They're going up. They're winning ball games. They're at home, and hopefully they can maybe even just knock the Astros way down if they keep winning at Wrigley this week. Let's check out the pitching matchup for tomorrow's Game 2 of this series. It will be Ryan Dempster returning from the disabled list, and he faces Roy Oswalt, the one-time ace. He's probably still their ace, but not as good as he used to be. Still dealing, though, for the Astros. The big question is Dempster and coming off that disabled list, and will he be on a pitch count?
Well, there's definitely going to be a challenge here, not only for Ryan, but there's going to be a challenge for the Cubs. They just played a very, very long ball game in which they went real deep into their bullpen, and they got great performances, but this is a pattern that's been kind of developing, and here you've got a guy coming off the disabled list. You're not necessarily sure what you're going to get. Yes, he's a veteran. Yes, he knows what he's got, but at the same time, if something goes wrong out there, you've really kind of stuck your neck out with this long game that you had tonight. So it's going to be an opportunity for Ryan to reestablish. Hopefully he'll be able to come out and reestablish his fastball, find his splitty, find his change, find his slider early, and he comes out throwing strikes. I think the one problem that he really has this year is that big inning where he kind of loses his control a little bit. So those are things that are probably going to factor into tomorrow. You just hope that he can give you a good, strong 5-6 innings, and then you can kind of work your way into the bullpen because he's going to have his hands full. Roy Oswalt's going.
And they had to use a lot of relievers in this game tonight, so that might be a tired bullpen. It was the toe, so it's not a shoulder issue or an arm issue for Dempster, so hopefully he'll still be in good form. All right, that's going to do it for us. Sports Night with Chris Bowden is coming up at midnight. He'll have a recap of all of the day's news in sports. Our next Cubs telecast here on Comcast Sportsnet comes Friday as the Cubs head to Florida. For Todd Hollinsworth, I'm Gail Fisher. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you on Friday.
Up in the air, and that will do it. Deep to center for Soriano.
Cubs Postgame Live is presented to you by Lowe's. This season, spring starts at Lowe's. Let's build something together.